はい。攻略がこれよし、じゃあニューゲームどうだ。あれなんかな。
Inside is my brother Lewis's funeral.
まだちょっと操作が不安でも最初は。
Inner will, my mother now.
お、結構いける。ここまでだ。
The truth is, even after.
が落ち。
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
すごーい。日本じゃ無理だ。なんだろう。
17-year-old. I knew exactly what those words were.
それだけでもちょっと感動しちゃう。これドアにさ、よく見るとステンドグラスがはまってて綺麗。ガレージっぽいね。あ、これなったな。紙箱。面白い家だったか。どうやるんだっけな。これか。
The power had been turned off the night we left. Cannery, we all got sick of eating Sam. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. My mom wasn't much behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that
イーディが確かおばあちゃんだったような気がする。まずは1階から行こう。
Edie told me the bricks came.
1周目と2周目でまだちょっと違いそうな気がする。普通のテレビ、結構最近まで人が暮らしてた家だ。水見て
It was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
ことが起きたみたいだね。できちゃったね。じゃあ2階行きます。静かだな。
After Milton disappeared in Great Uncle Walter's room. Messages, but I never believed it. Turns out, Milton had been here before me. I had no idea what was behind that door.
おお。
A lot of time here.
なんもないかな。OK、じゃあ読もう。
It started when Mom sent me to. I didn't mind it.
ネズミの餌。
My Halloween candy was all gone.
まあちょっと置いてる。
I thought about eating Christopher.
トイレか。個室にトイレがついてるってすごいよね。
I kept eating and eating.
鳥の音。でもちょっと待って、こっちも気になる。
I ate a lot of things that night. It was a barn. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared at me.
どこに飛ぶの？ここ？こっちか。怒ってる。あっちか。
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was...
操作はあんまり難しくない。あお！びっくりした。コントローラーに振動が来るからないかな。あ、抜けれるわ、多少。
Rabbits.
無理。オッケー。やったー。
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
お母さんウサギか。はっ。いけいけいけいけ。いやー、ダメじゃん。いや、あ、びっくりした。あ、いけた。
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
あ
I
ー
rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, the water. When
なるほど、すごい。ちょっと待ってます。いつ終わるんだろう。終わったっぽい。あ、びっくりした。いや、コントローラーの振動がね、結構びっくりするんですよね、これ。
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
あ、こっちか、酔いどれ。これ終わるの？ 実績が出るまでこのままだ。朝あんた ?OK。オッケー。
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
パイプの中。うわお、トイレだ。うわー、こういうの怖いよね。なんとまあ。
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
これがモリーの物語。
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
This 出れちゃうんだな。この下が気になる。降りれないねでも。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
これどこだろう?
Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
玄関じゃないよな。どこだこれ。ああ、暖炉のところか。行ったな。お母さんたちの部屋だっけ?
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's
ひいお
room.
ばあちゃんの部屋か。
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Oh.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
これがおじいちゃん。
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
絵を描くのが好きなおばあちゃんだったんだな。すごいアートな。わお。みんなの手形。紙粘土かなんかに。すごいな。こんななんかいろんな人が住んでて、いろんなエピソードがある部屋のデザイン。
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
なんか書いてある。アレン・フィンチ。いや、わかんない。読み方がわかんない。こういうなんか家具とかも結構素敵だし。
Even in their 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
お母さんとこの主人公の子かな。椅子が置いてあるのか。
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
なんかトイレの床にカーペット置くのすごい不潔な感じして嫌。さっきのと同じ鍵か。
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
いいですね。隠れ家だね。写真かなんかの部屋？
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
サムか。最高。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
なんかぐにゃぐにゃになる。
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
すげえ画面用しそうだよね。
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
ムがおじいちゃん、カルビン
then
もおじい
maybe
ちゃん。
he'd still be here. But I doubt. I think
振
he'd
動が
already
怖い。
made up his
コン
mind.
トローラーの振動が怖いんだ。
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
あー怖い。あやばいなこれ。うわっ
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
カルビ。
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
ちょっとこれ見ていいですか。サムおじいちゃんとケイが結婚したんでしょ。モリーは早くに死んじゃった。でオーディおじいちゃんがエディじゃないな、おばあちゃんを産んでるイーディで、主人公がエディス、サムとケイが3人兄弟産んで、ドーンがお母さん。はあはあはあ。オッケー。ちょっとだけ休憩させてほしい。OK？ よし、やりますか。コーヒーを入れてきたよ。
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Sam とカルビン。サム側も行けちゃうんだよな、これ多分。あ、行けないのか。
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
18歳で入隊。わあ。いいね。あ、上か。いや、すごいわ。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
いや、まだいいや。行っちゃいます。バーバラ。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
みんな結構本読む人だね。このカーテンがめっちゃいいな。
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Thanks, babe.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
ちょっと待ってね。多分これがちょっと実績解除のためにね、ちょっと頭がおかしくなっているわけではない。お、もうちょいだ。怖っ、椅子邪魔やし。あれ、あっち行っちゃったか。落ちてくれる。あ、落ちてくれる。やった、イエーイ。ワイルドフォトグラフ。次がね、次。あ、公園の外か。
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
ホラーやな、これ。これか。なんか事故、なんか切っちゃったよみたいなこと言ってたやつ。怖っ。
Oh dear. Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
Walter.
Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
また怖い曲。なんかステンドグラスの照明欲しい、いっぱい。もう怖いの嫌よ。びっくりさせるんだから。
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Wow.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
怖い怖い。ナイスナイス。
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
抜け道？ここがウォルターの部屋でしょ？水族館みたいになってたとこ。ここは別に開かないから。やっぱここですわ。
That night, she played her part beautifully.
怖っ。こっちか？
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
お、
listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ding dong.
At the door, she heard whispering.
Door no naka.
It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Surprise!
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. And she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
リックが消えたの？
And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's
リックって誰だっけ？
As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Eh?
Now that's what I call
Groy.
a real eerie tale.
不気耳。
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
なんで車のホイールみたいな。あ、映画のフィルムか。へえ、可愛いのが好きだったんだ。水着の男性がいるけど。で、どこに行けばいいのかな。こっちだよね。ん？開かないけど。あ、そっか、ドア封じられてるんだもんな。そっかそっか、ここ戻ればいいんだ。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
なるほど。そういうか、あれか。
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
あのカーテンいいな。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
なんとなくわかる。
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
ちゃんとドアの扉を覗かなきゃね。2階、1階はでもあそこの部屋しかないから覗いてないんだよ。
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found
Molly
the
always
basement
seemed like
key.
a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
ああ。森の部屋ね。ここね。OK。見たな、見たな。OK。ドアは開いてたし。おじさんの部屋なんで開いてたんだろうな。
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
ここは別に閉じられてないもんな。おばあちゃんたちの部屋だから。グレゴリー。
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
カルビンとサムだ。
My grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
やっぱこっちかな。
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
お母さんが閉じちゃったのか。開かないんだじゃん。今はまだ開かない。ありゃー、次どこ行
I
くか
wonder
し
if
ら。
that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
楽しい。でも指切っちゃったんでしょ。あれグロかったね。作る途中みたいなお家だな。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
あら。なんで海外の地下室って窓あるんだい？羨ましいんだが。
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
荷物を持って地下に降りていく。
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
開かない。
It turned out she was hiding a lot
かっこいい。
more than that.
画面暗いね。
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
ウォルターか。
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
秘密基地みたいなのを地下に作って過ごしてたんだ。
Goodbye, everyone.
30
I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd
す
survive.
ごい振動。
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
ずっと出てこ
Having
な
a
かった。
schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
いつも桃缶食べてたんだ。
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
でもガスコンロとかあるんだね。
And then one day, everything just
2005年だ。
stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
かっこいい
I have
や
to
な。
leave. Well, I still can.
よね、この家。フィンチ家の間
I
取り
know
と
it's
かを
out
書いて
there
みたいな。
somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara
あ
and Molly and Calvin.
ーカルビンはあれでしょ、別に。
Maybe this is all a mistake.
自分でブランコじゃん。
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
痛い。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
エディスのママからしたらおじさんだよね。
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
外の景色を見るつもりで写真を飾ってたのね。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
そうだよね。
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
ゴミ箱か。
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
そうだよね。埋めてしまうっていうか、
Now that there's
地
only
下
one
に
of
か
us
くまってたみたいなね。
Or maybe 2. I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
めっちゃ変な置物ある。
And the history you're a part of.
なんもないか。あれは昔の家だね。こっちか。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
確かに。こっちですね、こっから。
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery may be more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
バーバラ、ウォルター、イーディって生きてるじゃん。あ、お母さんが作ったのかな。モリー、カルミン。
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
あの家ね。
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
行ってみたいな。これがイーディたちか。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
ガス、サム、ゴリゴリ。サム
She
は
lost 2
軍
of
隊
her
に行った人か。
brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
ルイス。誰？ミルトンだ。
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
記念碑か。ミルトンはどうやって死んだんだ？見たっけミルトン。
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
ミルトン。
But looking back on
いい
it
な
now,
ここ。
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
妊娠ね。危な。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
次サム？
They were both pretty intense.
真剣な性格。
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
別のところには矢印は向けられない。
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
ウサギだ。
Did you want to get a picture of me or what?
逃げちゃった。
Come on already.
もういない？今の実績会社だったのにばっかしちゃう。あれ？どこ？あ、ここか。ビビる。
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
やん。
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing,
ウ
though.
サギ？ウサギ？重いね。
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
あれ？
Aw.
Nothing quite like being outside.
Hold still while I take a...
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy... Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
時間制限があるとは。どうやって登ってんだこれ。
Dad,
It's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Wow!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
今のちっちゃい子がエディスのお母さん。指輪みたいなのがあるね。ここがサムおじさんのお部屋。
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
じゃあサムとエディスは会ってたいんだな。はい。これベッドの足元にテレビがあるみたいなやついいよね。なんかね。さて次はどの部屋に行ったらいいんですかね。わかんない。ここだわ。いいなあこういうの。軍に行ってたね、おじいちゃんは。
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Mm. 次グレゴリー。
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
難しい、結構。あ、違うの違うの。違うの違うの。あ、分かった。
He reminded me so much of him. Lost in his imagination.
取れない。
He saw.
Muziな。ちょっと手前。違うの違うの。 オッケーオッケーオッケー。よしよし。なんかパイーンってなるんだけど、たまに。なんだったんだ。
Sure made him happy.
よし、ちょっと進んだぞ。で、この上に乗る。あれ違うな。クラゲさんが生きてる感じになっちゃった。オッケーオッケーオッケー。
I know how silly it sounds.
イエーイ。楽しい。
I'm worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Oh.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
ポイーン。
I wish he could have told us.
やばいよやばいよ。
There's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
なんか解説してるサイトで読んだけど、離婚したらしいですね、サムとケイは。そういう背景が分かってるとまたちょっと面白い。
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea.
Gus.
Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife.
サムか。
Make him proud.
ガスか。こっちじゃないっぽい。すごい腕にトゲトゲの腕がついてる。怖い。
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The
wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
塊魂みたいだよね。何かがまだ足りてない。何か。もうないでしょ。
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
K の次に奥さんが来ることになってたんだ。じゃあ義理のお母さんってことでね。エディスのお母さんからしてもママ
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
こんな行き来し
At
に
the
くい部屋
time,
に。
it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
キリスト教だね。
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
サンジェイはここに住んでなかった。
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
インド。
Louis was born a year later.
リスは長男なんだ。下には行けない。
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to
死ん
have
じゃ
her
ったから
back
戻ってきたんだね。なるほどな。ウィルと
and to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
おばあちゃんが増築したのすごくない？
And for a while,
学校み
things
た
were
い。
good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
ミルトンか。ちょっと待って、気になるのがあるか。何もないか。
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
いいなお城。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
お兄ちゃん。エディスの部屋とかもあったっけかな。また戻ればいいのかなこれは。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
ないよね。階段があるけど壊れてるみたいな結構ロマンがあるな。リスはお兄ちゃんだよな。
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
すごいバランスボールで仕事してたんや。
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
I
asked him to describe.
左右の
He said he
こ
started
とを
small,
手で違うことをしなければいけない。
imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
脳トレやな。
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
ダンボールでできてるね、お城。
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new
難しい
friend.
操作に慣れてきたぞ。犬か。
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
ルイストピア。
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
みんなついてくる。
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
マリオだ。
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
工場から帰宅する
Even
のを
as
忘
his
れまし
mother
た。
pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a Beautiful prince.
なんとなくね、こっちにしてみました。
The prince was on his own quest for radiant rainbows.
にゃん。入れない。
He followed the sound of his
Okay.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Wow.
We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
汚いな。衛生的にやばそうやな。
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Mori.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
おお、自分が選択した方になってるんだ。
There was only one thing left to do.
鮭の絵が描いてある。
Bend down his head. rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could
家
have
を
met
出て
him.
いく1週間前に死んじゃったんだね、ルイスが。これがきっかけか。ちょっと待ってね。ヨハン。こっちだ。
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
越さなければよかった。
But I understand why we left.
エディスとママ。2人の部屋か。
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
それでエディスの物語になるのか。エディス・フィンチ。
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
Edith
has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
死ぬのは怖いね、確かに。
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
フィンチズ。イーディ、おばあちゃんが書いた。
There's so many stories I wish I could tell you.
家族の話。
There's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
맞아. 야다. 뭔가
The next
寂しい.
morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
エディスの息子だ。息子。息子。おー。いいね。でもこういう家に住むのはすごく羨ましいです。2013年までって書いてある。ヨハンの名前を見つけないといけないんだ。ヨハンいた。もう一回でもカラビンの話をやらないといけないかな。こういうのすごいいいな。 わりですね。はい。リプレイする。なるほどなるほど。 OK。 リプレイするよ。モーリーじゃない。モーリーじゃないんだけど。ダメだ。選び方がわからん。カルビンをもう一回やりたいんだけど。選べねえ。どうしよう。あ、これで選べるわ。よかった。OK。カルビンをもう一回プレイする。なんでだろう。これをなぜもう一回プレイさせられるのかはちょっとわからないけど、タスクに追加されてるんだよね。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt.
Why?
I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
ぐらいに言えそう。コントローラーの振動がもうすごいのよ。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Kurukurukururin. あとウサギ捕まえるやつと写真撮るやつだな。時間制限があったんだと思うんだよね、多分。
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
ウサギ撮ったじゃんね、今。
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Diseki出ろ。出ない。なんでやねん。まあいっか。終わりにしますか。ありがとうございました。